hit us. Entrepreneur Traci from Dallas, Texas, Mama 2. Over to you.
All right. Well, I'm Traci, and I'm based out of Dallas, Texas. In fact, born and raised here. Lived in California for a little bit, but I'm definitely a Texan for sure. I'm a registered nurse, been a registered nurse for over 20 years. I, did what my parents told me to do, which was go to school, go to college, get a job. And shortly after getting that job at Parkland Hospital, I was allergic. Every time I went to go clock in, clock out, I would like break out in a rash. I was like, I'm not meant to work for anybody, So I started my first entrepreneurial venture when I was 23. It was Urbane Scrubs, medical uniforms, stylish medical uniforms. Sold that at 26. Went and did worked at a medical device company for a little bit, turned pro in fitness. And then shortly after I turned pro in fitness, I met you, Nick, and took a fantastic run at direct sales and network marketing. Had a blast, learned a lot, pivoted. In 2014, dabbled into aesthetics and opened up my own practice full time in 2017. And in 2020, so that would be number 3 business. And then in 2020, when we had a little bit of time on our hands during the pandemic, remember that? I actually opened up Urbane Aesthetiks Academy to mentor and train nurses to get into aesthetics, because it's a niche industry. It's kind of hard to tap into. I'm in nurse practitioner school. I'll graduate with my master's next May, and I've got, like you said, I got 2 young kiddos. I actually take care of my she'll be 99-year-old blind grandmother as well. So yeah, I'm definitely.
So what do you do for your free time?
Well, I hop on lives with people like you to try to inspire other people.
That's a great answer. One thing I've always known about Traci, guys, just the utmost work ethic, focus, drive, determination, kick-ass nicknames. She's just fearless and fierce. So what a great story. I'm so excited for you, what you're doing currently in your life. And we're going to ask you some questions. So for those of you guys that don't know my quick backstory, I'm Nick from Michigan originally. I've gone to the network industry at 18, made $1 million at 25, and then bought the company. And the rest was history. Created a company called Mysalis. Built it globally, 3.5 million customers. Traci is one of our top female producers. Just absolute What else? We were the founders of the Body by Vibe 90-day challenge. Every success and failure you can imagine happened. We filled up, stadiums. We launched countries. We had terrible product launches that failed. We've had lawsuits. We had victories. We had defeats. We had pain. And everything. So this show, what's up, Summer? What's up, Marcus? If you're watching replay, hit replay. If you're on Facebook, say hello. So this 20-minute showdown is about bringing up people I know just all over the world and spending just quick 20 minutes, 3 questions, rapid fire. Whether you guys listen to us live or not, doesn't matter. We're going to turn into videos where thousands of people are going to see it. So joke's on you. So Traci, I've got the first question for today. So first question for today is, you have ventured into, we'll call it at least a half a dozen different business models that you've been an entrepreneurial inside of, could be more. And what would you say is the number one characteristic of a successful entrepreneur in getting started? Not where you're at now, but getting started. What are 1 or 2 of those most critical characteristics that you must have if you're going to get past started to success?
You have to have a vision. You have to, if you don't know where you're going, how do you ever get there, right? So I think that being very clear on, what it is that you stand for, what's your pain point you're going to solve for people, how can you serve, what are your gifts, what are your talents, and just be very clear on, I don't like the, term like business plan, if you will, but you have to have, passion and determination, and you have to have belief in what it is that you're starting. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur and start a company, but if you don't have like deep down, like burning belief in yourself, your capabilities, and the product or the service that you're providing, it's going to be extremely difficult to engage and build a clientele.
Amen to that. Okay. A quick follow-up to that. Which business have you enjoyed the most? As you said, hey, different products, different services you've done. You've created a business for scrubs for nurses. You've created an aesthetics business. You created an aesthetics academy. You've been in health and fitness. You helped us expand nationally and beyond. Like, which one have you enjoyed the most in the journey?
Well, I would say, that, the current industry that I'm in, it's mine and only mine. And so there is, a lot of good it feels really good to be the sole, preneur inside of this, practice that I started. But, network marketing was a blast. Building teams was a blast, which led me to my academy. When I had my med spa, I was missing something. It wasn't that I was unhappy, but I just knew that there was something more that I was supposed to do. My platform, my vision for myself, my life, my purpose, like it's never changed. It was, service, community, contribution, all of those things as a nurse, at every single thing that I've ever done, whether it was personal training or building a business inside of, the challenge, and then inside of my med spa, this is a platform for me to empower other individuals to see how badass they are and that they're capable of anything. So when people get in my chair to get, Botox or a treatment of some sort, they're actually in a space that I provided, for them to become who they're supposed to be. So, currently I would say that, learning this business, because remember, I'm a registered nurse. That's what I went to school for. I didn't go to school, for business, that there's a lot that I'm having to learn. And I love that because it's very challenging. And growth is there comes some growing pains with growth. And so having to, go with that and, know that, it's okay to pivot. If something doesn't work, it's okay to pivot. So, I don't know, man, I love them all because anything to do with people and where I can be a contribution, is my academy is a blast. I absolutely know that I'm put on this earth to create other entrepreneurs and empower women and men. And so, developing that program has probably been the most rewarding to my soul, if you will.
There we go. That's what I was getting at. Beautiful. And I look back at the time we spent together and watching you shift from, running to developing your own businesses, developing your own ideas, developing your own strategies, and now developing people. Really freaking cool. So bravo to you. Alrighty, what's your first question? Hit me.
All right. So something that I know that we all deal with in life is, self-doubt and self-doubt from, doubt from others and imposter syndrome. I did a whole talk on that. It's a real thing, and it can paralyze you. So how do you deal with self-doubt or doubt from others?
Okay. I've been asked this question a couple of times and I've tried to always answer it as truthfully as possible. And I've questioned whether or not this is an answer of narcissism or not. But then I look at the definition of narcissism. Those are people that lack empathy, which I believe I absolutely do have empathy. Maybe it's just ego, which is a little bit different. I've never sat there and said, I can't do this. It's never crossed my mind to say, I'm not going to make it. There's never been a seed of doubt that's like, you're not going to pull this off. And that is the dead ass truth. And that's probably a double-edged sword because it gives probably emphasis to lack of strategy or emphasis to not thinking through a great enough plan or looking at all the potholes, whatever, ahead of you because pitfalls, much better. Pitfalls ahead because you're just like, oh, fuck this, I can do it, doesn't matter. And I haven't yet, thankfully, and I hope I never do, had the challenge of I'm sitting, in the bed going, man, I don't know if I'm capable of doing this.
Right.
So, but I believe there is 90% of all people, if not more, of people who are success stories that have gone through that, right? And I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if it was learned. I don't know if it's stupidity. I don't know if it's a blind spot. I don't know if it's ignorance. I don't know if it's a superpower. But I don't suffer from self-doubt, and let's talk about like in business of, hey, I can go do that thing, right? Whatever that, and now, if we said that thing is something I didn't want to do, then that's different, right? So if you said, hey, you ever suffer from self-doubt? Yeah, sure. Throw me in the middle of the ocean. I'm not a great swimmer. I don't like the water. Self-doubt should immediately take over. In fact, I remember I was in Capri swimming through one of the arch rocks that you're not supposed to swim through, and the current started changing. There's no boat around because boats like, actually, you could swim it, but I think that you couldn't boat it. So he had to go around, and I remember it started getting tough. Self-doubt was creeping in. Right? So, but I've never had it in business, and I'm going to go with, I think once I made the decision, or once I believed in the books, and once I believed in the cliches of it's possible, I just decided it's possible, therefore I can do it. And if I'm not doing it, it's because I haven't figured out the way.
And I think I totally agree with you. After working with you, for the time that I did, I never really was like, okay, he's doubting this or he's doubting himself. I always knew you were really sure, but I know that if you're in sales or if you're starting a business, you've got doubt from your family, you've got doubt from your friends, and so that is outside of you, and so
Yes.
you have to deal with that.
Yes,
so how
for
would
sure.
you tell somebody to deal with that? I mean, obviously, some will, some won't. Who cares? We know that, right? So, like, I think that what I would like to hear you or have you share with those that are listening is like, what would you tell somebody that has this incredible idea and they believe in it and they're passionate? They don't have imposter syndrome, but they have others around. I already know what you should do, but from a standpoint of what would you tell them about their doubters?
This is tremendous, and I'm going to go with this is question number 2 because this is I'll go deep on this one. So 2 answers. Number 1 is doubters should be your fuel. Like everyone who says you can't do it, it should be like, hold my beer, watch this, right? So anyone that says you can't do something, you should have just kind of like this little gas tank. You just put them in there, and it just you don't sit there and focus on them.
Yeah, you get away.
You don't have like a wall of their faces like, watch this, it's not like an anger-based thing.
Right.
But did you ever see Michael Jordan's Last Dance? It's the documentary on Michael Jordan. It's
no, but I would
unbelievable.
Yeah.
But he kept saying this one statement. It became a meme everywhere, and it still is to say, which is, and I took that personally.
Right.
Like it would be nothing. A guy would walk by, smile and wave. Like, he fucking smiled and waved at me before the game, and I took that personally. So I gave him 50 points. So it's like you should take it personally, but not from a perspective of you're going to attack that person. You need revenge, or you're going to hurt that person. But you're going to go turn that into success. There's a second group though, which is much harder, and I think you're alluding to this. That second group is the people that are closest to you. And if the people who are closest to you do not support your dream, listen to me closely. Find some new people to be closest to you. And that's going to hurt because this is going to be, for some of you, this is going to be your brother, your best friend, your spouse. This is going to be your parents. But if you are on your deathbed right now, looking back on your entire life, and you let those 1 or 2 people that you loved talk you out of your dream, that means you lived a life resenting that person.
You're not your true authentic self.
Yeah.
You're not fulfilling what it is that you have inside of you, to give to the world, and those around you, they don't need to see your dream because it's not theirs.
How the hell are you gonna be married to someone you resent the rest of your life? So if they don't support your dream, you tell them you either get on the bus or we got to go different ways, because you can't live your entire life resenting your spouse because they don't support your dream. That's ridiculous. Great question. Okay, number 2. Number 2 to you. How has motherhood, and we'll go deeper on this one, how has motherhood changed you, but with a sub point of A, an adopted child, and B, a special needs child? Like, you like to win, you like to do shit the hard, like you do hard shit. You're a single mom with a special needs child, And if I remember correctly, it was your sister's baby that you adopted, or your cousins, maybe best friends. But you're, to me, without all the businesses and without everything you've done in fitness and without everything you've accomplished, you're a superwoman with just that alone. Single mom, special needs.
Not a single mom. I'm not a single mom, but I definitely have my hands full. It's not a single mom. Charles is an incredible, integral part of those girls' lives and supporting me and allowing me to do.
Well, okay, good point. So
Yeah,
you're co-parenting. You're co-parenting.
No, we actually I'm married to Charles. Married.
Oh,
married
got it.
Yeah.
Back together. Well, I've been talking to
Yeah,
you.
yeah. There was a freak out. Yeah. So that's okay. So I will tell you guys that, motherhood for me made me a better leader. It made me a better, more compassionate, more understanding, and obviously having a special needs. My daughter Lyric has a very rare chromosomal disorder, and she's autistic and ADHD. Patience that I didn't have. Like I'm not a very patient person, and I am a very patient person now. And I look at life so differently. I have so much gratitude whenever people are complaining about their kids, not sports or this or that. I'm like, I'm just grateful that my daughter can talk, because a lot of the children with the chromosomal defect that she has are nonverbal. They're in wheelchairs. They're in feeding tubes. And so when we were diagnosed, we were given the diagnoses of her at 3, we were handed a brochure, and it was a brochure with people like in wheelchairs, and there was like only 65 other people in the country supposedly that had this chromosomal defect. They know more that there's more people that have it. And so I just know that for me, no excuses. They are my reason, right? So like I have every reason to not make it happen. Every excuse to not make it happen. Meaning, special needs, take care of my grandma, my just every I could be late, I could not do this, I could not do that, and people would understand because my plate is so full. I've gone through the buffet twice and I haven't even sat down to eat. That's how I feel sometimes, and it's like it's literally
That's actually a statement.
it's literally that too. My stepmom was diagnosed with cancer, and so we're dealing with that. So it's just that the reality is that, Nick, everybody has a wheelchair. You just, some of us, we can see it. We all are going through something. It's not like, oh, they've got it easy. We all have the same 7 days in a week, the same 24 hours in a day. But motherhood has made me, the compassionate, empathetic, human being that I am, to know that everybody has a story. Everybody has something that they're up against, and it's not easier. Yes, it might be easier for some of us because of where we grew up or the support system that we have, or maybe the starting capital that was, given to whatever that is. But at the end of the day, if you don't work what you've been given and what you've been blessed with, if I don't take my privilege and turn it into positive thing and power, then I'm wasting it, So, going to school and college that my dad's, put me through college was a blessing, but I still had to go to class. I still had to put one foot in front of the other. So, it's I always say, like I said, the first question, you have to have a vision. Without a vision, people will perish. I've always said that. And faith without works is dead. So it doesn't matter how much I believe in myself, how much I believe in what it is that my service is. If I don't work it, it's not going to work itself. And, there are some days that are really tough. I'm not going to lie. There are some days that, Lyric fights and screams and hollers and gives me a very difficult time. And I have to leave the house and I have to, put on that happy face. And I do it not out of fakeness. I do it because I can choose to either be bogged down by my circumstances, or I can choose to be empowered to go out there and still be a light whenever things might be dark, at times. So motherhood has just done nothing but made me, a better woman.
And what triggered this question, the direction I took it was when you were telling me about getting Lyric dressed, and your answer, like your response to her, like, okay, well, you're gonna have to do it sometime, right? It's such a different answer than you would give 10, 15 years ago of the Traci that I met, in her early 30s, let's say, right? So
When people say changed, I'm like, yeah, I should have changed. I should have changed from, 5 days ago. Like things that would get me upset for days turned into hours, turned into minutes, turned into seconds,
And it's not your fault. You have red hair.
A little bit of fire, a little bit of fire.
And I want to say, I didn't want to cut you off when you were starting to go, but I want to say I am so happy to hear that first part that you and Charles are together. Give him the biggest hug for me. I love that guy. So much charisma. He's always just the most handsome other in the room. So I'm so happy for that. So
yeah, he's incredible with those girls. So there's absolutely,
he's a leader. He's a freaking leader.
Absolutely, for sure. So, all right. So we going back to you now?
Yeah, hit me.
All right.
This is number 3. So, final. Make it
good.
I
know that's not fair. That one question got pushed into one. But that's all right. I'll pick my next favorite one. So, what is a non-negotiable when starting a business for you or when building teams? Is there something that's simply non-negotiable?
Fantastic question. So, I could go. My pause is which direction do I take this? I could go personal. I'm gonna go personal. Right now, what's non-negotiable? What's non-negotiable for me is these 3 things: joy, freedom, and impact. Joy, freedom, and impact. Whatever it is that I'm doing, I don't want to feel like I don't have the freedom to make decisions. I don't have the freedom to make pivots. That I've got, this one investor that I can't do what I want to do because of what they want, or this one partner that's I can't do X, Y, Z. So freedom, joy. This is a big one because it didn't used to be inside of my top values of building a business. Right? It was just like. It used to be, and I said freedom, joy, and impact. I meant to say freedom, joy, results. It used to be for me results, right? Like number 1, results. Number 2, results. Number 3, results. Now it's freedom, joy, and results.
Yeah.
I was working with a lot of people that got results but didn't bring me joy, and I was spending significant amounts of time in proximity with unhappy people. I'm a really happy-go-lucky, fun, happy, just like driver. And, I'd be in rooms with great producers, great results-driven individuals who are putting tons of points on the board that just like never smile. Or like you think I think of something who just like, do you just hate being here? Do you hate me? Do you hate what we're doing? I love it. Well, tell your face. So joy is a non-negotiable for you. I will not work with people that I don't enjoy the interactions with. And what's interesting is I'm in negotiation right now with a couple of people, and I'm like, this person is difficult. I don't mind. Like divas are good because divas, they get results and they know their self-value. But it's like, do I want to be in a situation where everything is difficult?
Yeah.
No. Walk away from the results. Keep joy. Now, I have a little bit of an advantage because I have capital. So I don't know if I would say that in the past, if I would give these same 3, but right now, non-negotiable for me, joy, freedom, and stuff. Obviously, still we got to put results.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. I feel like in my practice, it was really great when I got to a point where I could fire a client because they didn't bring me any joy. It didn't matter how much they paid me. It's you can get up and leave now and you don't ever have to come back. So.
Right.
I own this practice. I don't work for anybody else. I get to say who comes in here.
Hope somebody gives you a droopy eyebrow.
But it's true. I mean, your work, for me, it's like my safe place, something I create, I designed it, and I'm not going to let anything come in that's not going to align with my vibration. If you're not vibrating, at this, it doesn't mean that every single person that walks into my practice has to be like,
Sure.
But the reality is, if you're difficult, you're not for me. Don't.
I agree. I've actually responded to one of your besties right here, Tiffany. I haven't talked to Tiffany Snaggs in forever. What's up, Tiff? All right, so bringing it home. My final question: 2, mompreneur, 2 kids. business owner, academy, fitness, fabulous. Final question. Give me one of your most significant failures and how it shaped you into the success that you are today. It doesn't have to be the most, because I make it broad, because that way you can figure out what's TV friendly here. One of your most significant failures and how it has shaped you into the success story you are today.
That's interesting. So I kind of like when you say that to me, it's like I kind of feel like when I asked you what's your self-doubt, like I don't really resonate with that, so it's hard for me to be like, oh, I failed. Like I don't feel that way. Like I'm being authentic when I'm answering you. Like, I mean, yeah, there were some decisions that I could have made that would have better served me. I could have, invested my money, more aggressively or more appropriately. I could have, been smarter with, I've made a lot of money, but my dad always says it doesn't matter how much money you make if you don't keep it. And so I think that for me was just understanding, I guess, I don't know, like I don't see if I sold my first company, I could look at that as a failure. When the challenge pivoted, I could look at that as a failure, so none of those to me are failures because they led me to where I am today. And I'm still willing to pivot, as long as I can stay in alignment with my vision, my core values, and my mission statement to be a global brand impacting and empowering men and women all over the world, raising money, to bring awareness to domestic violence and, just contribution. If something doesn't go as I thought it would, that's attachment to me. So when you have attachment to something, that's when you associate failure because you were attached to it having to be that way. So when you can live in a world of non-attachment and know that really this is all we have, this moment right now, the way my business is today, how many students I put in through my academy is how many students I put in through my academy. And it all really means nothing at the end of the day, right? So it's literally knowing that, if you do have a business that maybe isn't where you want it to be, or maybe it failed altogether, I don't really like that. It doesn't mean that you're still not, meant to go try again. You fall 7 times, you get up 8, it's just, so no, just like when you said you don't suffer from self-doubt, I don't suffer from recognizing or relating to failure. I think that there are things in my life that I could have done differently that would have better served me, but none of them I can associate with failure because I just don't believe that it exists. And if it does exist, it was just something that happened. It's not who I am. And it was a circumstance, it's that, so I don't really have any failures. I have learning experiences. That's
Amen. I love it. You reminded me of an old story about Thomas Edison where the newspaper reporter's like, how does it feel to know that you failed 10,000 times trying to create the light bulb? He's like,
that's good.
No, I just figured out 10,000 ways not to create
not to do it. Yes. And I will tell you that. I will absolutely tell you that some of my failures or my mistakes were relationally, like burning people down, but, trying to turn an apple into an orange. Remember that? Or wanting something for somebody so much that, they didn't see. Like I know for me as a leader, or even now when I'm leading my nurses, my students, it's like I can want it for them, but if they don't want it for themselves and if they don't see their talent, then I can't create that in them. I can inspire them. I can lead them. I can lead by example. I can be authentic to myself. I can have my values of unity, responsibility, being bold, being authentic, being nurturing, having education at the forefront. But if they're not in alignment with it, then I have to let that go. So for me, I think that what I learned the most is loving people where they are and letting them be where they are, and you being true to yourself, your true authentic self, and learning what your voice is and how to get that across, which goes back to your vision, your core values, and what you stand for, and create the life that you want and do the damn thing. And if you fail again, you just figured out what didn't work and you pivoted. So Yeah. So I don't really align with failure. I align with, keep going.
Well, there are so many just truth bombs in here that we're going to cut up and put out as videos. Leave it to you and me to figure out how to turn the 20-minute showdown into a 45-minute showdown. But we did it because
No,
that's what
we
we
were
do.
we were late. We were late.
We were
getting
late.
out.
We were 10 minutes late,
We
35-minute
didn't
showdown.
start till almost 11. Yeah.
So tell everyone where they can find you and what you're up to, because they all need to be following you and doing whatever it is you're doing if you're doing something.
Follow me on my personal page, which I'm not crazy active on that. I'm active on the stories at Traci Hawkins. My med spa is Urbane Aesthetiks, and my academy is Urbane Aesthetiks Academy. So you can find me on there on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm located in Dallas, Richardson, area. And yeah, and I do virtual consults.
I was going to say, is that academy? Is that virtual?
So I do have people that aren't local that come in like 3-4 hours away from Waco. I actually have 4 or 5 graduates, 2 people that I helped start their med spa out of Waco. But yeah, that's coming. I'm also working on an e-learning platform with a subscription for aesthetics. So yeah, there's a lot that's going to be coming out there that will be, virtually, because I definitely want to reach more people.
If you want to start a med spa, this is your girl. Traci, I'm so happy to see you.
Absolutely.
Virtually.
Yeah, thank
and I want to give a huge hug to the big guy and both the littles.
Yes.
And y'all share this, like this, put it out there into the social universe. I'm nixlinktree.com if you want to connect with me on any other platform. nixlinktree.com. Hit me on any other platform. 20-minute showdown /35, episode 8 in the books. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.